Stephon Marbury, former NBA player, attended the Team USA's gold medal game against France. And after they won and announced the Olympic MVP, Marbury was not happy. He voiced his opinion countless times on social media and even said he believed the only reason LeBron won the award was based off his stature and being the leader of that team. Of course, Marbury was bashed for saying comments about the king, and the fans were saying he was hating on LeBron because he didn't give him a hug. If you look at his argument, though, he has a point as to this award being given to someone else. Because in all honesty, Devin Booker was the most consistent throughout the Olympics. But when your leader is doing what he's supposed to do and the team is winning, then it makes sense as to why Bron won this award. Now, Mal, do you agree with Stephon Marbury's comments on how easily LeBron was able to win the Olympics MVP based off of his stature as leader?
I knew going into this Olympic run, hell, dating back to when I heard that LeBron, Steph, and KD were going to be on the team, that this was going to be the LeBron James show. Essentially, 2024 Olympics hosted in Paris, France, was the LeBron James Festival. And for the basketball event, there was Greece, led by Giannis, Serbia, led by Jokic, France, led by Wemby, even Canada, led by SGA, and finally USA, led by LeBron James. This would have been fine if LeBron James legitimately carried this team with remaining talent equivalent to some of those other rosters. But no, this team was collectively the best team by far in terms of talent, and they were able to win every single game in the tournament. Not talking about the exhibitions, due to a culmination of great performances, starting with KD against Serbia and ending with Steph Curry in the semifinal and final game. The toxicity revolving around LeBron James is repulsive for myself and anybody else that attempts to be truthful, because if you try to provide any level of criticism that is warranted to this guy winning MVP, then you are now classified and deemed a hater, when there's one key point that opens up the floodgates for us to at least have a conversation. And that is the Olympic MVP voting did not take place after the gold medal match. No, the Olympics MVP was voted even before the semifinals began. Are you fucking serious? That makes no sense at all. Unless you are trying to perpetuate a narrative. You have a guy in LeBron James that you want to build him up. You want to boost his legacy. It is always all about him. He has utilized this Olympics as an opportunity to make an ensemble of events that is supposed to bring attention and awareness to the world of athletics that everybody and their mama can have eyes on, all about himself. And at this point, he doesn't even have to put in the effort, because there's a recurring team of fanboys and sycophants and idolaters that will conduct his bidding for him. The Bronsexuals, they essentially react on autopilot. You got all of these shields in the media literally less than 48 hours after USA winning the gold, revisiting GOAT conversations. Kendrick Perkins contradicting himself, saying that now that LeBron James has one more gold medal than Jordan, that makes him the GOAT. But didn't you already have him as the GOAT? You've been saying LeBron James is the GOAT for years now, ever since you've been on ESPN. But now he's the GOAT? Which one is it? You make no sense at all. People are just so dishonest about LeBron James, and it has now gotten pathetic that anything this guy does is viewed under a lens of a win-win situation. He truly can do no wrong. In fact, him winning Olympics MVP has become a measuring tool and an addition toward his flimsy argument of being a greater player than Michael Jordan, when there was no such thing as a damn Olympics MVP when Jordan was playing. In my humble opinion, Jordan winning and leading the Olympics in 1984 as a collegiate player is at a 10 times more impressive viewpoint than LeBron James, even at 40 years old, winning the Olympics in 2024 with a team that was being named by many people as the greatest collection of talent ever assembled, the Avengers. It's honestly just disgusting, man. I'm disgusted with the NBA community. There is entirely too much propaganda being displayed. People just need to wake the hell up. Actually assess the game objectively. No. Just watch the game objectively, because 70% of NBA fans, quote unquote, don't even watch the games. They just watch the highlights. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really feel bothered by LeBron James winning the MVP for the Olympics. It wouldn't be my pick. Honestly, I'll still go Steph Curry, even with the, continued stats, because when you look at the statistical performance, LeBron James really does outperform pretty much everybody because he has the most production. The ball's in his hands, most of the time. He's kind of dominating the ball for the most part. It's understandable to me to see that, he will win, MVP or whatever. Because honestly, I thought him and Devin Booker were the brightest spots for Team USA during this Olympic period. Either one of those guys, I thought, could have, been eligible to win that award. Devin Booker played really effective in his role. Steph Curry, while he did explode in like the last 2 games, it does take into account the entire matter. So it does take into account 6 games, which LeBron James is more consistent in the first 4 games. And while Steph was more effective in the last 2 games, 2-game sample size to a 4-game is a bit of a, disparity. And the game against South Sudan, Steph didn't really play that well. He made like 2 field goals that game, and he shot like over 10 field goals. I'm not really bothered by it. Now, I would say the PR for LeBron James has been insane this Olympic run. He could do no wrong, honestly. What Captain America stick was, while I thought was humorous, and I did post a poll on, LeBron James and George Washington, holding the flag. It was just unwarranted, man. LeBron James, although he was the flag bearer, they act like, this dude was head and shoulders better than everybody else, which he was not. Really, the game that kind of decided this for everybody was really the game that they had against South Sudan when they were 43-point favorites, and they only won by 1 point. LeBron James making the, clutch baskets to win the game. That's where the entire thing shifted from, in my opinion, and the Germany game kind of helped with that. And I think right at that point during the Germany game, we kind of took the game over as well. People just put in their heads that LeBron James is the best player for Team USA. He's going to win the MVP for an award that really doesn't exist. Like, the award only goes back to Manu Ginobili winning it in 2004 and Kevin Durant winning it in Tokyo in 2021. But the award doesn't exist. I think it's a media award, so it's not like it has any credit or anything. But it's what I expected. The media loves LeBron James for some odd reason. I don't really get it. He's a great talent in my opinion, but for them to be glazing this dude for 20 years, it's like, can we get like a new face? For them to be doing like, I think the numbers in the last game was 19.5 million. I think we should be attributing that more so to Steph Curry's impact. Steph Curry has been a bigger face than LeBron James for the past almost 10 years, going back to 2015. If you look at, the sales, jersey sales, if you look at ticket sales, if you look at, watchability, who people are modeling a game after, Steph Curry has been bigger than LeBron James in that aspect. While I thought Steph played well, I do think LeBron kind of deserved it, in my opinion. It's kind of a toss-up between him and Devin Booker for me. But, this LeBron and Stephon Marbury beef, in my opinion, goes back to 2004. I think Stephon has had like enviness for LeBron James. I think it started with the Redeem team. Going back to a LeBron, Melo, and D Wade, they kind of had their thoughts and opinions when they were sitting on that bench for the team that won bronze. They kind of thought that those guys shouldn't be starting over those guys, even though those guys are rookies. But they were like, yeah, these guys, they shouldn't be starting over us. They didn't take those guys seriously. So maybe, Stephon Marbury looked at it like, y'all are ungrateful as hell. And I can't blame him. I can't blame him for thinking that. It's understandable to me why he has this animosity. And, LeBron James is petty as well. He's a diva. So him doing all the, shaking up, handshake to Melo and just, walking past, Stephon Marbury, it's all an act. It's all an act. And, that's what LeBron James is. So
I ain't gonna lie. I figured Bron was going to win this award. His only competition would have been, KD, had he played from the beginning and not had his injury. This was something to boost Bron's legacy. He probably saw that if he wins the gold, he's having one more than Jordan. So of course he wanted to play. And, when you hear LeBron James playing for Team USA, of course more players are going to want to play with him. You look at MJ, the GOAT on the Dream Team, so he is considered the leader of that team. He gets the blame if they lose. He gets the credit if they win. So if they had the MVP award at that time, I don't think, Charles Barkley might not have won that award because, Charles Barkley, he was the leading scorer on that team. My thing is, how is this award spread out? The past times this was awarded was 04 and 2021. So why are we skipping through years? I don't see why now we decide to want that award. I'm not saying Bron doesn't have a case to make it. I honestly would have voted Booker, but this also goes to the voting of this award. This award was based off of media. So as soon as I saw that, I knew LeBron was going to win this award because, everybody loves Bron. And then the fact that it was cut off at the semifinals, I don't like why that was, because, we look at the past 2 games. If it wasn't for Curry, who carried that team, we probably would have seen, them be eliminated. I don't think, Stephon Marbury should be getting bashed so much for this. But, when you attack LeBron, you're going to get bashed. So he probably saw this coming. I think this beef is, definitely hilarious at their grown ages. Grown men, these folks talking about grown men caring about hugs and stuff. I think it's, comical.
Final point, LeBron James in my lifetime is probably the most arrogant and most coddled athlete of this generation of my lifetime. Just the mass amount of sycophants and people that are willing to just give him this inordinate amount of praise. I just don't really understand it unless these media shells are being paid off by Clutch Sports. And LeBron James, he has a phenomenal PR team with Rich Paul, Maverick Carter. These guys are just so willing to go to bat for him and defend him. And my thing is, if he's as great as you think he is, or you're telling everybody that he is, you don't have to defend him or get on interviews on every single show, every single podcast, and explain to us why he's so great. Tell us why he's the king. Tell us that if you have him at any ranking except for number 1, that you're a hater. It makes no sense. People are just giving their opinions based off of the all-time great players throughout the history of basketball. Just because if you're Stephon Marbury can't give his opinion that he thinks that Stephen Curry was the MVP, and people are coming out and saying that he's a hater, saying that he's mad that LeBron James didn't dap him up. That's a grown-ass man. It's just like I said, if you say anything that is not even negative, you just say anything that's not in alignment with the LeBron James being the best and being the best there ever was, then you're a hater, and I'm not really understanding. And the LeBron James era has been really overrated. As CJ said, if you just look at collective impact, high level impact, just your impact on the sport of basketball, Stephen Curry is a more impactful player. He's just the more impactful name. He's done more for basketball by evolving and changing the game, and just looking at ratings, looking at NBA Finals ratings, jersey sales. He has done more for the sport than LeBron James, if we're just looking at it honestly. And for people to say, oh, he's still the face of the league. He's the face of the league because the media wants him to be. That's it. He hasn't done as much winning. He hasn't impacted the game as much as he's put it out there for it. Stephen Curry has done more winning. Like, Stephen Curry has gotten same amount of championships as LeBron James in less time. Yes, you have all this longevity. Yes, you have all of these stats, but why haven't you won more if you're supposed to be the best? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And we're just basically creating awards for this guy to boost his legacy. Why are we always comparing him to Michael Jordan? Like, if you're the clear-cut GOAT, every time you do something or win something, why do we have to go back to Jordan? It makes no sense at all. LeBron and his fans and his group, they are insecure about where he really is in terms of the NBA hierarchy. Can we really be serious and be honest about the conversation? Props out to Stephon Marbury for telling the truth and being honest. And those people that are giving him backlash because he just put out his opinion, you should be ashamed of yourself. And you should really look in the mirror and just really reflect on your idolatry for this athlete that doesn't care that you exist, doesn't even know that you exist. Like, get off your knees, please.